Did you ever wonder what happened to Gerda after Kay went missing? Gerda waited and waited by the gate, but Kay did not come back. In the evening, she went to see the boys playing on their sleds.
Did you see Kay?
She asked.
Oh yes, he tied his sled onto a big white sled and left the town,
said one of the boys. Gerda was very sad. She waited and waited for Kay right through until spring.
I wonder where Kay is. I hope he's safe,
she thought one day.
Don't worry, he's safe.
The warm sunshine spoke softly.
But Kay has gone forever,
she wept.
No, that's not true,
the swallows sang. Somehow, Gerda felt better after that. She wondered what she ought to do. She went home and put on her favourite red shoes. She went to the river and spoke sadly to it.
River, did you take my beloved Kay with you? Please take these shoes and give him back,
she pleaded. She threw the shoes, but they were washed back onto the riverbank.
I think I'll throw them farther,
thought Gerda. Suddenly, she saw a boat lying among the rushes. She got into it, and from the boat, she threw her shoes as far as she could. The boat rocked and began to drift away from the shore. Gerda was scared, but she held on tight to the boat.
I never thought it would be so frightening to travel on a boat all by myself,
she thought. She drifted towards a cherry orchard with a little cottage right in the middle of it. Standing outside the cottage was an old woman with a crooked stick in her hand.
Help! Save me!
Gerda cried out. The woman looked up sharply, and before long, she came rushing towards the stream and gently lifted Gerda off the boat.
Where were you going all by yourself in that boat?
asked the woman. Gerda told her about Kay and asked the woman if she had seen him, but she shook her head. The woman liked Gerda very much, and she'd always wanted a daughter like that. She knew a bit of witchcraft, though she was a nice and harmless woman. All she wanted was to have Gerda live with her.
I'm sure the rose bushes in my garden will remind this little girl of her home and her friends,
thought the woman.
I'll use a bit of magic to hide them.
She waved her crooked stick over the rose bushes, and they sunk into the ground. Then she softly combed Gerda's long hair and said,
You shall live here, little girl, and we'll get along wonderfully.
It was almost as if Gerda was under some sort of spell. She stayed with the woman for a long time. They lived very happily. But one day she noticed a rose in the woman's bonnet. The woman had forgotten to hide it. She went into the flower garden and searched everywhere for another rose, but she couldn't find one anywhere. Slowly, Gerda sat down on the ground.
Oh, not a single rose can I see here,
Gerda cried out. The hot tears from her eyes splashed on the earth, and immediately all the rose bushes pushed their way out of the ground. The moment she set eyes on the roses, all her memories of Kay came rushing back. The girl looked everywhere, but the woman was nowhere around. Without waiting for a moment, Gerda pushed open the rusty gate and ran out as fast as she could, even though nobody was chasing her.
Oh, Kay, how did I forget you?
said Gerda.
I must look after you. Spring and summer have passed and it's autumn already.
Back in the cherry orchard, it had been spring forever. But outside, the leaves had turned yellow and autumn was fast approaching.
This is such an amazing place. There are a lot of roses here. They remind me of Kay. I must find him.
All right, darling. But before you leave, can you do me a favour? Please go to the garden and gather some cherries for me.
Sure.
She's such a good girl, but I'm afraid that something might happen to her. It would be safer if she stayed with me. We should hide all the roses so that they won't remind her of Kay. Can you help me? That's good. Yes. Good job.
I've gathered all the cherries in your garden. I have to leave now.
All right, my dear. Will you allow me to comb your hair before you go? I wonder where I left my hairbrush. Can you see the hairbrush? Where can it be? There it is. Thank you. Magic comb. Please help this little girl forget her past and stop worrying. Well, this is it.
Oh, I feel so light and free. I really like your house and this garden, but I can't help feeling like I've forgotten something.
It's because you are tired, my little child. I have a room for you. You can rest there a while. I've not been there for a long time, so you will have to clean up the room.
We need to clean the room. I see a cobweb in the corner of the ceiling. We'll brush it away. Let's fix the curtains. Now we need to make the beds. We have to remove that basket. Let's put some books in the shelf. Ah, roses! The roses were missing in the garden. Oh, how could I have forgotten about Kay and our roses? I must leave.